And then at the time, and I know we're going to talk about my business side, but at the time, I was running a technology company out of New York City called Part Search Technologies, a company that I founded just at the height of the dot-com era. I was sitting behind, and I'll get more into that in a minute. While we're on this subject, sitting in my office one day, and I get a phone call from a buddy of mine who was actually the publisher at a company called Dealer Scope Magazine, and calls me up and he goes, "Hey, Dean," and I'm sitting at my desk in New York. Dealer Scope is holding the first annual Battle of the Bands at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. Would you like to sponsor it? Rick or nobody in my business had any idea I was a musician. I sort of kept a Chinese line between the two. To me, I'm not
Like
exactly sure
separation of
what.
church and state on
Yeah,
some level. Oh my gosh.
kind of. That's the way I thought about it. I'm not exactly sure why, but I just didn't think my musical side of my life was relevant in my business side of my life. I was a tech entrepreneur. But anyway, he calls me up and he tells me about this, and I said, "Tell me more about it." And he says, "Well, it's going to be, because I was in the consumer electronics industry, so I'd go to the Battle of the Bands. The Consumer Electronics Show every year in Las Vegas." And I'm saying to him, "Tell me more about it." And he says, "Well, there's going to be industry bands there, like the Panasonic band. I'm just making up names. The Samsung band, the Gibson band. That was a real band." And and so industry guys who are musicians are getting together and we're doing this battle of the bands and it's going to be great publicity and the winner gets this big trophy, blah blah blah. Where it's being held at this particular venue. There's going to be like 2,000 people there. And so I said, "Well, I would absolutely be interested in sponsoring it under one condition." And you know where I'm going with this, right? So he goes, "Well, what's that?" "That you let my band play at it." And he goes, "You're a musician?" And I go, I'm a musician. I'm an accomplished musician, and this sounds wonderful." And he goes, "And you have a band?" And I go, "Yeah, I have an amazing band." He goes, "All right, you're in." So the truth was, I hadn't been in a band in years because I was raising my kids, and I did not have a band at the time, but I told them I did because I wanted to be in it. So as soon as I hung up the phone, I got on the phone immediately with my musician friends, and I said to them, we're flying to Las Vegas in 30 days. I'll take care of all the expenses. We need to get a band together really quickly, and we only need to do a 25-minute set. So there's not a lot of stuff, we need to learn for this. And the set list that I put together, I made sure that there were songs that other bands couldn't easily duplicate. Sort of like the throwaway cover songs that every bar band does. I wanted to so things like "Yes" from Roundabout was on the set list. "Carry On Wayward
Wow.
Son" from Kansas. I'm like, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. And so we put together this killer set list. And we got together at my house. I was living in New Jersey at the time, and had a very large house there, and a base and a studio in my basement. So we got together in my basement. We put together a 20-minute set. We rehearsed, went out and did the Battle of the Bands, and we won. And not and that was a very special night for me because that was the very first night that my music life and my business life came together for the first time. And all of my business associates, we did a lot of business with Best Buy at the time. Best Buy actually had
Oh.
an equity investment in my company. So we were really close with Best Buy Corporate, and they were all in the audience. And, they saw me come out and do my, rock star thing for the first time.
Did you change
Uh,
clothes, like get out of the whatever you were wearing and like go full attire? What'd you wear?
well, when I'm on stage, I wear stage clothes. I'm a
That's
rocker when I'm
awesome.
on stage. So it's sort of my alter ego
Love
when
it.
I'm on stage. And but as a tech entrepreneur, it's not like you're wearing a suit and tie
Yeah,
anyway.
true.
You're pretty casually for the most part. But I'm business casual. But on stage, you got to play the role. You got to pop on stage. So